everyone. Looks like we have a couple people still filtering in, but thank you for connecting with us. I am Allison Dewey. I'm looking forward to kind of quickly reviewing with you how you can craft digital apps using Microsoft's Power Platform in order to basically modernize, hopefully streamline your various business processes. I am the Customer Success Manager here at Marquee 360, and I'm joined actually by a few of my teammates, but I'm going to call out Erin Boyle, our Marketing Manager. She's going to help me moderate. You're welcome to interrupt me, ask a question, raise a hand. We actually only have 30 minutes for today, so if you want to hold off and then wait until the end, I do have some time afterwards if you'd like me to stay on and answer any questions. But what I'm hoping to do is a quick introduction to Marquee 360 for those of you that have not worked with us yet or have not attended one of these webinars before. Then going to give you a quick overview of what is this thing called the Power Platform. And then to kind of demonstrate what that is, I'm actually going to go into the Marquee 360 PPM 360 solution, because that is a Power Platform solution that we built to basically enhance project management. So I'm going to talk kind of quick here as far as who Marquee 360 is. Our organization was founded by a team of industry veterans, and we are a Microsoft Gold partner with expertise in work management and the Microsoft 365 cloud. Our vision is to create solutions that hopefully will enhance your operations, boost efficiencies, drive growth, and it is our goal to partner with our customers in these areas where our focus is innovation. We aim to extend the Microsoft 365 platform, help you take advantage of those services you already have. We work closely with the Microsoft product team, giving us, direct insight into what's coming, ideas, provide them with feedback, and most of the time, those solutions are indeed built using the Power Platform. We are certainly focused on your success, so we hope that you would engage us as a trusted advisor. We do take a consultative approach to our work, and our work spans developing solutions, implementing our product line, and then wrapping that up with training and support services. Those services may be classroom style training. We actually are offering some open enrollment opportunities if you want to check out our website. But when we do partner on those development projects or those implementations, you get a dedicated support team, some hyper care support, and then we're always willing to offer ongoing support and additional workshops. So with that, I will turn to Microsoft's Power Platform. This is a cornerstone for Microsoft 365 subscribing organizations, because you can really customize what these tools can do for you as an individual, you as a team, or you as an entire organization. So with the Power Platform, we have the ability to automate processes. And so when you hear people talk about Power Automate, that is the tool that we use to create those automations, or what is also referred to as flows. We can also craft custom applications, so like online digital forms that are mobile friendly, because those can be what we call responsive with their presentation, depending on what the end user is using on the other side. And the way we structure those is using the tool known as Power App. To then help kind of surface actionable insights from the data that we are collecting through those applications and those processes, that's where Power BI comes into play. So that is the reporting tool. It allows us to develop reports not only against maybe the custom solutions we're building, but other data sets that you have. If you already have SharePoint lists, if you already have Excel workbooks that you're constantly going into and slicing and dicing, if you have SQL Server, if you have other third-party repositories, you can indeed tap into those with Power BI to surface all sorts of intelligence. And speaking of intelligence, even though it's not really part of the Power Platform, I did want to mention the opportunity to, maximize intelligence by having solutions or agents be crafted using what's called CoPilot Studio. Again, CoPilot Studio is not really part of the Power Platform, but when we develop those bots or those agents, they can use data from the actions of that workflow or, from the input into those apps. So I just wanted to take a moment to mention that. So I actually took a moment to create a poll. Let me see if I can't get that up and running real quick. Hopefully you are seeing that, and walk through them, because basically I want you to ask yourself, do you have processes that require strict governance and compliance? Do you need to track and monitor progress or performance on a regular basis? Erin, is that poll working?
I don't see it yet.
Don't see it yet. Let's see.
Is it waiting for you to hit
Well,
that launch?
I don't want to waste time with that because, like I said, we only have 30 minutes. So I'll just keep making you kind of rhetorically ask yourself, are you
There is
collecting data?
Allison, there is a launch button right there, but I'm not sure if that's
It's okay.
okay. Oh, there it
Um,
goes.
So perhaps, are you struggling to collect data from various data sources and trying to consolidate it? Maybe you're manually transferring data between different systems. Do you find like the first half of your day, you're doing repetitive tasks that probably could be automated and give you back some of your time in your day? Are you managing critical tasks and communications with unstructured emails, really complex spreadsheets or legacy systems? Are you a company that, someone created this Microsoft Access database solution and it ended up being like one of the most critical apps in the company? Well, it should be moved into an enterprise solution. So those are reasons that you might consider, well, hey, is a Power Platform solution for me? And so um, I'm going to tell you the story of our product, PPM 360, which again is a Power Platform solution. And to understand why it came to be, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about the evolution of Microsoft Project, their solution. So we have Project Online, and Project Online is a project portfolio management utility, so that PPM. Back in October of 2019, Microsoft then launched this thing called Microsoft Planner, and it was characterized as a starting point for individual and teams to kind of organize and collaborate on group tasks. So it was pretty simplistic. Around that same time, Microsoft launched Project for the Web, and they characterized this as project being reimagined, that it was simple, it was flexible, and it was modern because it now integrated with the Power Platform. Today, we still have Planner, but it is a new Planner because what they have done is consolidated 3 task management tools in a single app. We now have To Do, which helps individuals manage kind of their overall workload. We still have those more simplistic plans. In today's planner, those are referred to as basic plans. And then these a little bit more sophisticated, offering us like the ability to connect tasks, find a critical path, structure backlogs and sprints. That's in what's referred to today as premium plans, and that's basically the project for the web service. But there's a gap. With today's planner, we don't really have those portfolio, those project portfolio management capabilities. And these are them, right? If you're part of a PMO, let's say, you need to be able to do all of these things. And that is not native in Planner. And so Marquee decided that they would extend the functionality of Planner or accelerate it. You might hear that term used, Planner Accelerator, and built solutions to capture those ideas, to prioritize the incoming ideas, to figure out, well, does it align with what we're trying to achieve this year? It provides a way to capture risks and issues and changes and so forth. So what I'm going to do is actually open some of those screens, not so much to talk about the capability of our solution, but more like the elements that we were able to add because we built the solution in the Power Platform. So I'm just gonna, got so many windows. So just real quick. So what you are looking at right now, are you seeing my screen, Erin? Because I lost my little red dot, my little red box.
I am still seeing the poll.
You're still seeing the
Screen with the
poll.
poll.
Let's try this again. All right. So I'm actually, so what you didn't see then, it would seem, gonna just. So this was the list, these bullets of all the things that you wouldn't get from Planner that some more sophisticated PMOs or project teams would want to have access to. And this is why we went ahead and built a custom solution to fill in those gaps. And so here, this is a Power Platform solution. Right now, I'm in an area where, those things I said we don't get with Planner, like we don't have the ability to manage financials. We don't have a built-in way to deal with resources or risks. We have some reporting capabilities, but nothing like we were able to craft using Power BI. So that's just a peek at what a solution can look like. Ours is a pretty sophisticated solution, but let's talk about how these were built. So again, it's kind of staying in that mindset of, okay, we have a need. And in our world, best practices says we should have a single and standardized point of entry when it comes to ideas and projects. So we created a Power App called Intake 360. What's nice about Power Apps is it is possible to create them where you don't require any additional licensing for your users. You can often create these, and so long as they have a Microsoft 365 subscription, these solutions will work. These solutions, they use things called connectors. And so with the Intake app, we decided to harness that you already have SharePoint when you have a Microsoft 365 subscription. So let's have the back end of our app be a SharePoint list, because Power Apps talking to SharePoint lists, no additional cost. Power Apps can actually talk to a lot of things. They can talk to SQL Server, they can talk to Oracle, they can often tap into other APIs like SAP. But when you start to branch out, you may find it necessary to license what's called a premium connector. And so if you're thinking about, ooh, I'd like to automate this, digitize this, tap into this, that would be part of the discussion that we would have with you to find out, what are the options and how can we try and keep this budget friendly. In the case of Intake 360, it's called a Canvas app. Your end users are not going to care what type of app it is, but what it allowed us to do was kind of be a bit more creative. It gave us a blank canvas. This was actually a fairly simple solution, right? We said, okay, we're going to use these SharePoint lists, and then we crafted the app. I'm going to show you now what that is. And when I click on this, it's going to launch that app, that Canvas app in the framework of this larger app. And I just wanted to highlight some things. So what you're seeing here, this big blue area, this is a gallery. So it's a type of component we can use when we're developing a solution in Power Apps. And it obviously is displaying a list, right? It's a collection of requests in this case. And you can see we can interact with that, right? We can expand and collapse. Note, we have various icons and graphics to help the end user easily realize, what does this do? You'll also see here in the middle, we're using graphical presentation to help people understand where things are in the process. So this Power App not only includes, the digital forms and presentations, but we do have a workflow. So in this case, when someone submits something, it goes into an approval process, and the app is monitoring that. It's changing this presentation so that people can figure out where things are in the process. If I click on New to launch a new request, so collecting data, I wanted to share with you that you'll see that we have basically tabs, right? So if you're trying to collect quite a bit of data, we can use tabs to organize content into different sections. And you can see we can drop in all sorts of controls to collect that data. They can be lookups or choices. They can be just, basic text. We can collect multi-lines of text. We can have things pre-populate with like the current date, the current user. So those are all types of things that we can incorporate into the app that we build. Any questions so far on what you're seeing as far as in the way of, one of these, online forms? Good. Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
So those what you are showing us, are these examples of what we can do with Power App, or are these yours to sell?
I guess I will say both. So what I'm showing you is a solution that we do indeed offer to companies who are looking to improve their or expand their project management capabilities. But the point of this was to show, like, this is a Power App. So let's say you have a process that you are looking to automate. These are the type of elements that you could put into an application to do that. So, if whatever you're trying to automate includes a process, you can have this app initiate processes, showcase where things are in the process, and also send notifications that might show up in email or Teams. So does that answer your question?
Yes, actually, my current job needed that, what you just, that intake process. I'm the manager for the intake. And I'm like, really? I thought this will never be existing. But anyway, so
Yeah.
I'll follow up after that. I mean, I like it. That's exactly what I need for my work.
That's great. Well, good. I'm glad you can see a correlation between something you need and something you might want to create, and found out that, hey, someone might have already created it and maybe I just need to tap into that.
The intake app is actually our most popular one, so
Oh, is it?
it is, yes.
Okay. I mean, I was thinking about your company for automation, automated flow, but I mean, if it has a front end of, it's even much better.
Awesome. Good
Great.
timing.
Now,
Yeah.
don't tell your salespeople about what I said, but
So along that same line of thought, again, we have companies that they have a need to implement like a means of scoring, right? Ranking the requests they're getting against maybe, strategy, benefits, cost, risk. And then in our world, we need to make sure people understand what is governing our decisions, right? So in that same app, um, with a Power App, you can drop in mathematical functionality, and I'll show that in a minute. I've already mentioned that we can also, as a result of the information received, we can kick off workflows, in this case, an approval workflow. And because it is a Power App in the Microsoft ecosystem, we can then have notifications go out, and not just as emails, but you can have your notifications show up in Teams. So, because it's part of this whole ecosystem, there are certainly ways that you can further bring everything together. So when I talked about mathematical functions, this is just a real simple demonstration. So, watch this priority score here. So in this case, we're asking people to kind of rank, tell us more about your request. Is it going to increase revenue? Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Notice how now my score is 2. Even though it's not going to increase our revenue, it's going to save us a lot of money. And you see that, so this is doing math behind the scenes. It could certainly be, you can include calculations that are much more complex if that's a need you have. So remember when I asked you, like, do you have really complex Excel spreadsheets that you're using to, manage something? Maybe you could convert that to a Power Apps solution. Um, so, so I'm going to switch perspectives now. We were talking about intake. So again, another thing in the world of project management is things work much better. Projects are much more successful when we have something in the context of a framework, right? So the larger solution that I mentioned, our PPM 360, it too is a Power App. And again, what we're trying to do is extend the value of products that people typically already own. In this case, we have companies, they're licensed for Planner Plan 3, and so our solution taps into that. It integrates with Planner, because remember when I said Microsoft launched Project for the Web, which is now part of Planner, it was all integrated with the Power Platform. So we can talk to it. And you will find that, we can talk to, if you are using Dynamics and would like to pull some information out of that as part of another process, you can do that with Power Apps. And in that case, when you have solutions that are a bit more sophisticated, like our intake app, that's a pretty simple need, right? Collect information, review the information, make a decision. But when you're doing a lot more and you have a lot of data and it's structured data and there's lots of relationships, that's when we're going to lean towards creating something that is called a model-driven app. Again, not your users won't care, but behind the scenes, we might need to talk about, do you have that Planner 3 licensing? Are we going to be using a lot of Power BI? Do you have the Power BI licensing? And we can, again, tap into a broader range of solutions. Also, in the world of project management, cross-functional collaboration is really critical, and it's getting harder and harder to manage, growing workloads. So again, with our Power Apps, because of the Power Platform, as I said, we can integrate with teams and we can sync tasks between our solution and Planner. So these are all, I'm talking in the context of this one solution, but again, like think about what you're doing. Um, is there, are you right now, running reports, gathering data, plugging it in somewhere else, and then, forwarding it along? Is there not a way that we could consolidate that? So, um, I'll just quickly, because I kind of went through those last two slides fairly quickly. So when I mentioned integration with Teams, for example, so in our app, we left it up to the end user to decide, like, when you create this thing, this project, would you like a Microsoft team to go with it? And if the project manager's like, yeah, that would be great, the app does that for them. So when we talk about streamlining, if your best practice is whenever we do X, we want you to have a Microsoft team and it should include this, that can be automated rather than the project manager or the end user or whomever needing to know how to manually execute those tasks. Here's another one, right? I mentioned synchronizing with Planner. Do you want these tasks to show up where these people are managing their whole workload? And we would toggle that to yes, and the app would take over. Yeah, those 30 minutes go really fast. So, my hope is that you realize, like, you can create some simple or some really robust applications. It doesn't have to be based on Planner, right? Again, if you're using really sophisticated workbooks, if you have an old Access database, if you're an organization that actually did a lot of development in InfoPath, thinking about re-engineering or recreating or creating new digital solutions in the Power Platform is something that we would love to help you with. So certainly, if you want to request a collaborative discussion, if you're already speaking with Deepika or Charlene, reach out to them or feel free to reach out to me and, we'll all get connected. I mentioned InfoPath. We actually have an event coming up to talk about how those tools are being retired and what the modern approach would be when you do want to incorporate digital forms or, elevate what you're using SharePoint for. Again, we would be turning to the Power Platform.
All right.
All right. I think Aaron dropped in the chat a survey, so we would love to hear, get your feedback on this.